Well, well. Good evening. Thanks for coming, folks. Good evening, Luke and Sean. And I see Kurt's out there. Danny's out there. Paul is here tonight in the house, and that's all I can see at the moment. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, just kind of fooling around. No huge plans for this evening except just to, I don't know, make some noise, talk about some stuff. I do have a couple things. So I can actually now see. I made some changes. I don't have a confidence monitor over there yet, but I can see chat and I can see my notes, and you can hear the birds. Yay! I guess Butterscotch is once again not getting the attention she feels she deserves. Anyway, real quick, we'll go over what's in the jam, and then get to some stuff, and then hey George, good to see you. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what's in the jam. And a little out of sorts tonight. It's been a little crazy. We'll get to that. Let's see here. I want to look at the DAW. Uh-oh. There. Now I want to look at the DAW. Okay, so the drone. Actually, the DAW is not really what I want to look at so much. Let's do this. I'm going to push a couple buttons, and let's see. I'm still getting used to where all of my stuff is up there in the ceiling, and all the new buttons. I did not get a chance to move the camera, so okay. Let's pull up. Let's pull up. Where is it? I don't have what I want. No, that'll do. All right, so the drone's coming off of the modular tonight, and yeah. So it is a patch in which lots of oscillators are making lots of other oscillators angry. There's a whole lot of ooh, I'm having some problems here with the there we go. Having some problems with the Stream Deck tonight. That's interesting. That doesn't usually happen. But anyway, so let's see. Kind of hard. I'm not gonna, since the Stream Deck's acting up a little bit. I'm not going to do too much crazy stuff with moving the cameras around. But anyway, so most of the drone is actually coming off the 2600, and there's a lot of things modulating themselves and each other, lots of stuff looping back around and feeding back into it. And then the melody part, if you will, meaning the note that I can change, sort of. That part that just kind of came in a little off kilter. That's all being generated down in the lower section here. I got the filter in the 110 module. Not the filter, the oscillator in the 110 module all sorted out. It was not actually as far out of tune as Joe had thought, fortunately. But I took about half an hour and tweaked it up real good. It can get out of whack really easy if you're not careful how you're feeding it. I'll say that. If you don't have, if you're sending volt per octave in, and you don't have the attenuator for that turned up, which you can't really see in that shot. If you don't have the attenuator for that turned all the way up, it will whack your tuning way out and do really weird things. And I think that's what he was running into, because he commented that it sounded like it was going into weird micro tuning directions, which you can really get it to do by monkeying with by attenuating the note value coming in to it. So they've also got that being oscillated just a touch by the function generator in the function junction. And let's see, I've got I am stealing square wave LFO off of the 2600 because I'm using the other LFO in the function junction for something else. So anyway, lots of things crossed back and forth, feeding each other, kind of sort of syncing each other and FMing each other, and just kind of making a unhappy sound, I think. And then in the DAW, let's see, in the DAW itself, that is being followed by a bunch of stuff. So let's see, you got an LFO that is sweeping the frequency and the resonance of an EQ8 in Ableton Live. And then past that, there is a beam grains, and that's then feeding into the new beam taps. So that's what's making the drone. And yeah, so I would say I'm actually pushing the machine a little hard tonight, a little harder than I had hoped, but that's because there's a couple of contrasts running too. And that's what's up next. I've got contrast running the man in the moon made of bread patch. Which for all the world sounds like a musette, you know? Or some sort of squeeze box. And so I noticed while we're here, I noticed a couple of comments that there were a couple of glitches in the stream. Were they full out audio and video glitches, or were they just an audio glitch, or what? Because I tried to get the audio levels up. I hope that didn't break anything. Not sure. Anyway, let me know what you saw. I'd appreciate that. And next up in the stream, in the jam, is Omnisphere, just an audio drop. Okay. And Danny had audio and video. Okay. This is this Omnisphere piano thing that I found a couple of weeks ago that I really like. Okay, I may have pushed too hard on getting the audio level up. Let me look at something real quick. Over here. Okay, well, I'm not peaking the audio outputs. Not overdriving any of that. So that's not it. I did notice, like I said, I've had a couple of glitches with the Stream Deck tonight, and so that could be network related here at the house. because the Stream Deck does communicate with everything over network. Let's see, did I play anything else? I think that's all I did. What's this? What do we got here? Oh, so they, the arpeggiator thing you guys were hearing, which may have been out of place in the long run, but that was, and it was supposed to be kind of fading in and out, but that's coming out of multi-poly. My house is not a Faraday cage, but there's a fair amount going on network-wise here. I think I mentioned last week that I've got essentially a 14-port network switch here, and I think I have one open port, and that all pipes down one gig E to the main switch and the main switch and router. And in the room here, in addition to the wired network stuff, I've also got I've got two iPads running wireless network, and yeah, and then of course my phone is on the network and my watch is on the network. So we hit the network pretty hard around here. I don't know what Donna's doing something. She might be doing something in the other room too. Don't know. And I do know that folks were out messing with the wires outside earlier in the week, or late last week. This is already so I'm not even retired yet. I'm already losing track of what day it is. That does not bode well. So anyway, that's pretty much what was in the jam. I don't think I had anything else that I actually used. There's some other stuff in there. Maybe not. That was it. Yeah, I didn't use this thing except for once. This is another contrast patch. It's the let's see, which one is it? Because I don't remember. It's the this one I was just kind of sort of starting messing around with. I never finished up. So I will say that having two active contrasts and a bunch of effects and stuff does weigh down on the CPU a little bit, but that's I'm as dense as I'd usually like to get anyway, and if I'm doing full out production, there's a lot of stuff that goes away, so a lot of real-time stuff that goes away. So pretty happy with the setup mostly. I did make some changes. I need to get that confidence monitor in front of me because I keep forgetting to switch. I did. Let's see if I can ask this thing to do a camera move again and not get stuck. Where do I want this? I want on the right camera. Yeah, I want this to look at this, and we'll go to. I don't know, sometimes I'm kind of dense, Luke. But thank you. Let's see, so it's still not over there, it's still traversing. I did make some changes, as I said, over here in this corner. Right now, just to make things a little easier, I've got the laptop here. You can see once it stops. So up here, I've got an iPad, and that's showing chat and my script, and I've temporarily evicted the laptop that controls, or the iPad that controls the MIDI interface to down, or audio interface down there, out of the way. So that's kind of sort of done, and I'm kind of sort of happy. I still have to figure out what I want to do with the with this keyboard. I still haven't quite worked that out, but I'll get there. And like I said last week, if I'm working, just working on music, the only time it's a problem is in the stream, and I'm trying to be able to show, let you guys see what's going on the keyboard. If I'm working by myself, I just shove it back, and the computer keyboard can go right down in front of it. So not a big deal, and mostly things are coming together here in the studio. I honestly didn't have a whole lot of time to do anything, and I'm still trying to figure out where I moved all the buttons around, like I said last week, on the Stream Deck, and I can't find them all because they're all in a different order. Let's see, what am I missing? Danny's feeling. Danny, I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to you in elsewhere, but I'm glad to hear you're starting to feel whole again, or normal again, and better again. So I'm excited to hear that you're getting some music put together, ready to go. Let's see, I'm going to scroll the chat back some. Let's see if I missed anything. I know Luke is putting the finishing touches on his album, and so that's going to be coming soon. Let's see, I know that's happening. Yeah, just scrolling back. Jeff is here. Let's see, Jeff will be streaming tonight, I know. So we want to make sure we want to catch up with that when we're done here. For those who aren't going off to sleep. Let's see. So we went through what was in the jam. So there's an elephant in the room left over from last week. He's hanging off in the corner. And that is, what I'm thinking about doing as far as what's going to be left here in the disaster room. And I'm pretty much decided that I'm going to let go all of the hardware synths except for the modular. And for the purposes of discussion, the 2600 is also part of the modular. I'm considering it modular. Because frankly, I'm just not using them, and it's been weeks and weeks since I've used any of the hardware stuff, so I'd rather it get some use, and I could put some money off. And hey, Reg, good to see you. Because it's like morning time for you, or well, very early morning for you over there. So anyway, I'm going to start putting up listings probably no, probably start putting up listings for stuff after Thanksgiving. Put up 2 or 3 things at a time. I'll start with the stuff that has been not used for longer periods. In other words, there's some stuff that hasn't been used for 2 years, and so that stuff is going to be the first stuff to clear out. And then Pro 800 could go in the. I mean, it's not well equipped for modular, but it could be racked up and put in that. I don't know yet. That has been used more recently than some of the other stuff. So, there's some groove boxes that haven't been used in probably 2.5 years. There's probably the Cobalt, the modal stuff. As much as neat as it is, the modal stuff is probably hasn't come out to play. I don't know about the Lemon Drop yet. Haven't decided about it. And then the Korgs and the Take 5 and the Polybrute. And the biggest shock, I'm sure, is the polybrute. But the deal is, Luke, I've got the Korgs in software, and they all behave reasonably well. The only one that seems to really want to suck down any CPU anywhere is the multi-poly. The other three are just fine. And as Danny says, if I get the hankering to play on a piece of Korg hardware, he and I can get together. He's a couple hours up there, or an hour or so, hour and a half up the road. We get together. Go up to his place, or he can come down here, and we can jam out and have a good old time. So but the thing is, my objection to being in the box for years was control or lack thereof. And the control of soft synth has gotten so good that and so easily customizable that I can set either the Control S, or I'm not going to get rid of any of the controllers. So I can set the Control S, or I can set the Key Lab up to do pretty much whatever I want. And even I was doing some experimenting last week. Out of the box, without having the appropriate drivers, even the original generation Native Instruments Control S keyboard will drive Omnisphere perfectly, including giving me the pre-mapped control that comes in the new hardware control setups within Omnisphere. So without even a driver. Now, part of that is, I did notice I can now edit now that I'm on the Mac, I can edit I can edit all the knobs on the original Control S, which without the driver you can't do on Windows. And Native Instruments obsoleted the driver that works with that keyboard, and you can't run both drivers at the same time in Windows. Now on the Mac, you don't need the driver. It just works. So that was very exciting to learn, because now I've got a nice, sitting over there at the moment, but I've got a 61 key controller with a nice feel and aftertouch. Doesn't have poly aftertouch, but it's got aftertouch, and it's a nice FITAR keypad that is nice to play. So I've got all the control that I want is available, and so I don't need the hardware anymore. And that falls into my, as I've said in the past, I really prefer doing sound design on the computer, and except for patching the modular, but that's a different mindset to me, and so it's that's more a different thing. So. And who knows, Luke, maybe after I sell all this stuff off, I'll get a corgi, like the real one, with 4 legs and pointy ears. They're wonderful little dogs. And the other thing is, if I get what is a Chrono Blob 2? Anyway, so, and that would lead into, as I sell stuff off, I could expand the modular. But there's still 3 things that I want to get in it as it is, and then I'm looking at possibly growing it from there. We'll see how that goes, But that's the thought at the moment. Could change by next week. I don't know. But that's that. All right, devices are back. Oh, stereo delay. Okay, stereo delay. Well, see, now as far as delay goes, I've got. I really like the effects setup that I've got over there. Push the button. It's going to take it a while to get there, but you know, I use the Eventide. You know, the Eventide stuff is nice, software and hardware. Approach that anyway, so I really I'll get to that, Danny. So I love this thing. This is one of the nicest effects pedals that I've ever used. It's got beautiful delays, it's got beautiful reverbs, beautiful everything, modulation, you know, beautiful modulation pedals all built in. Oh, okay. I get it. So, Danny, as far as corgis are concerned, I know I know folks with corgis, and I've spent a lot of time with their dogs. Yeah, they can be little devils. You're absolutely right. But they are wonderful pups. You know, so they're anyway. You know, and whatever, you know, some sort of four-legged creature would force me to get out and walk a couple, 3 times a day, which I really ought to do. Right now I blob around most of the day, and I don't have any impetus to go out and walk. Anyway, so let's see. That gets me down to. But you know, I'm soon gonna have time to walk, because you know retirement is retirement is sneaking up on me quickly, and there's still a fair number of unanswered questions, but so there's a little bit of stress going on there. But just over a week, you know, a week from today is the shutdown of the company, the soft shutdown. Anyway, it's when I'll stop trading, so to speak, and then you know, there's you know, all the winding down business of closing a business going on. But Corgi Tiki and Matchbox. You know, I always wanted the James Bond DB5 Corgi. That was I never got that one. Near the end of January. Good for you, Reg. But there's all that, you know, there's all those unknowns that come along with retirement, you know. It's like you think you have everything planned, and I don't know. We've got dogs across the street that do that, Danny. At least they've got I think it's an Australian, something based on an Australian Shepherd thing. And that's Tom. He's pretty good. But then there's Cody, and he's some sort of terrier, and he can be a terror. So yeah, you pay for your second wife. Yeah, I got to go see her in the spring. So that's the other thing. It's, you know, we have plans of things we'd like to do, and then of course the question is, you know, with retirement income being so much less than what my regular income is supposed to be, you know, it's like how do we do some of the things we want to do? But we'll figure it out. You know, both the vehicles are paid off in 18-20 months or something like that. That helps. So, you know, it'll be fine. Damn it, is what we say around here. So, I don't know a whole lot. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with Jack Russells. I do have. I have trepidation about terriers, although there's a couple kinds of terriers that I absolutely adore. If you get good ones, and so it's, but that's a ways down the road, because that's another whole line of expense. And right now, even though I will be retired, you know, I don't know how much time. I don't know if I'm going to have the appropriate amount of time just yet to go ahead and devote to devote to that, to that's required, honestly, for a dog. So, you know, that's down the road. So anyway, that's that. A dog with a mustache. So I too have been a lab dog for a lot of time, Jeff. I had a black lab that was just the most wonderful dog you ever want to know, and I miss that dog dearly. Unfortunately, I had to give him up for adoption when I moved someplace that that I could not take the dog. Unfortunately, I know he went to a happy home, so that's good. But you know, I miss him. I do miss that dog. The problem with labs, I've had two labs. One of them was a year old when I got him, and the other we got from the breeder as a puppy. And Labrador retrievers in any variety are puppies until they're almost 3, as far as their behavior is concerned. And I don't know that I could take another one from 8 weeks. Again, I just don't know that I could do that. I could probably take another, you know, older rescue dog, an older rescue lab, probably be wonderful. But a pup would be would be not fun, or not so much fun. They're cute and all, but Labrador puppies, they're into everything all the time. Girls had a beagle. My dad had beagles when he was young. The woman who lives behind us had a beagle. I've not seen that dog in a long time, so I'm not sure what's up with that. But and I haven't talked to her. She had some stuff going on, and I haven't talked to her. But well, that, you know, kittens will do that to a dog, you know. So Bud, my black lab, he was, I mean, he was, when I say puppy, that's the part where they're into, you know, chewing on everything, eating the furniture, and, you know, digging holes in the yard, and, you know, being super stubborn, and you know, so the little one we call Mikado was a chocolate lab. Mikado was just a terror up until he was at least 2. Bud, the black lab, he had been professionally trained somewhere when I got him, and so he was already pretty well trained, and once I got him used to me and we got used to each other, he was he was just a wonderful dog. But he still had puppy aspect. I mean, you know, he would goof around, and he had to play with the ball and chase the ball, and you know, all that kind of stuff. But otherwise, as he got mature, he got to be a really, really good dog. I could walk him anywhere without a leash. He wouldn't do anything untoward, you know, and just stay right by my side. If he did wander off, I just tap him on the top of the head a little bit, and he'd back right back in. But just a great dog. Anyway, we're here to talk about music stuff, I think. So anyway, let's see. Got down to the bottom of the list. It's 10 minutes to 9, or 13 minutes to 9. That's pretty good. And I'm watching the iPad up here has got not just my chat and the notes for the show, but also my, you know, notifications from Discord and YouTube keep popping up. It looks like SpaceX is going to do something tonight. or coming up anyway. So anyway, let's go ahead and wake the computer back up because it went to sleep. There we go. And let's see. Zoom. Let's go ahead and put the, let's do different bug. Not a dog channel. Not a dog channel. Let's go ahead and do that one. And because now I can almost see what I'm doing. Let's, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? At the risk of breaking things, I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch away, so you'll see me in the computer for a while. And I'm just going to see the computer on my screen. Let's put that away. Let's do... Said I didn't have a plan. I said I didn't have a plan for tonight. I wasn't lying. Let's delete this track because it's not doing anything. Or just change what's in it anyway. Let's see. What do we want to play with? Doopy doopy doop, doopy doopy doop. I got instruments. I got plugins. What strikes my fancy? That's not it. Not that. I haven't played in I haven't played in Abyss for a long time. That'll make a click when it loads up. There we go. What do we got going on here? Let's fade the background out there. Oh, let's go over here and stop that guy. What do we got here? See if I can remember how this thing even works. I haven't used this thing in ages. Doopy doop. What do we got here? Ah, this thing. Yeah. Now, let's see here. I have to remember how to route things to other things. It's been so long. Let's see. So what is that modulating? remember how the modulation matrix in this thing works. Excuse me. See, this is the other reason that, you know, I have so much different software to play with. I play with this till I, you know, through retirement until I die, and I won't get to all of it. So I've got lots of stuff to experiment with, you know, and relearn. Let's do this. Tooltips are activated. I know this has got to be routable somewhere. That chooses those. Curve of the LFO, okay. Two envelopes, two LFOs, another LFO, okay, so how do I tell it that I want this LFO? Looks like it's already talking to cutoff. Oh, okay, there we go. Well, that's too easy. What this one's driving, what else this is driving, but I'm going to go ahead and make this one just a sine, dirty sine. And we'll put that there. Turn the bass amount down some. Turn that up some. And let's see, let's sync the rate. And make it slow. Oh, that's fast. I don't know that this is a great sound, but I would never get this from any of my hardware synths. Reg has a question before he goes. Okay, I saw a couple of my Ableton meters displaying in blue rather than green. Where are you talking about? Are you talking down here? Let's get this out of the way. So, are you talking in here? So this is the active track. And these guys are active. And I'm not sure. So oh, that doesn't belong there. I'm seeing things that aren't set up correctly. Yeah. Hey, Luke. What does the blue meter mean versus the green meter? Because I thought it had to do with where it was monitoring from, but obviously it doesn't. And I should know. Yeah, I know which tracks you're talking. Yeah, 1, 3, 6 is doing that. Trying to see. Let's see. Well, these two are external ins, but this is not. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna switch to another track real quick. Oops. And let's see something here. Let's see. Back where I was. Oops, did I lose myself? I lost it. Oh no, where is it? No, this is it, just labeled wrong. Let's see, what can I do without breaking anything? Let me do this. No, that's not going to do it either. Unless it has to do with... let's try something here. That's going to sends. Of course, that's not good. That doesn't have anything going on. All right, let's see if I can do this without blowing anybody's ears out. Watch your ears, guys. I'm going to change the way this is routed. Aha, okay. So, figured it out. So what it has to do with is the routing. So, reds, if it's routed to, the green ones are routed to the main outs. And if it's in blue, it's routed to a send without going to the mains. So when this is routed, so this channel is routed to sends only, going out send D, and then ends up on my synth bus over here, on my synth return over here. So that's, if I send it directly to the main left-right out, that meter turns green. And what that does, so the reason I've got it set up that way is so that over here on my synth bus, I've got a compressor going on. And the compressor is basically just used to duck the audio so that if I'm playing the synth, oops, let's get the thing selected here. Of course, you won't be able to see it. So when I play something, this is set to duck the instrument. Anything that comes into this bus set to duck when I talk. So that's how I'm doing well, here we can do this. So if I'm talking, you can see that when it peaks up to where my voice is, you can see I'm pointing. You can see that white line is the gain reduction level, and you can see what happens as I talk. It brings the gain on the bus down. So that's what that's all about. Yeah. And this monitoring has to do with what is controlling it. No, that's cool. That's cool, Reg. That's very cool. No worries about asking, because it forced me to remember. Which, with my brain, it's hard to do sometimes. So I mentioned that the retirement is coming up, and there's a lot of unanswered questions, and a lot of stuff that's taking time and adding stress. In addition to the what's down the road, the act of closing a business is not for the faint of heart, especially when you do business in multiple states. It really because I've got to close the business in all the states that it's open in. And it's so it can be a little. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, and hopefully it all works out. You're working, so Reg, you do most of your stuff, or you do most of your stuff contract or freelance, right? That's the direction that I'm going to be heading as I retire, is into freelance. Yeah, I think my tax is going to be trickier. Yeah, you're freelance, okay. Yeah, freelance, and then I've got with the rules on some of my retirement income sources, I have limits on the amount of stuff I can do, and being what they refer to as highly skilled, I have limits on the number of hours that I can work and the amount of money I can make without cutting into the retirement benefit. So if I make over a certain amount, they start deducting from my retirement benefit, which means that I have to make up even more, which means they cut even more. No, that would not be freelance. That would actually be so much easier, Paul, to if I were to do Uber or Lyft or whichever. And don't think that it hasn't crossed my mind. In fact, it has. So it's like, problem is I don't currently have a great vehicle for an Uber vehicle. I don't know how well pickup truck would go over. Hey, get in the back there, guy. We'll take you to the airport. Just hop up there in the bed. I know it's pouring down rain. I just don't think that would go over all that well. I don't think my tips would be very high. So anyway, it's we'll see how things go. I do have some work lined up, some freelance work lined up, and basically 3 or 4 of my existing clients that are chomping at the bit to get going on projects that I haven't been able to really do as part of the business. So we'll see how it goes. Well, I do have a window between the cab, an opening window between the cab and the bed of the truck. Does that count? It does not have a porta bar back there, though. So anyway, let's go back to making some noise, because that's what we're here for. I'll put that up on the screen. Yeah, that would be funny. I could a whole different. There's a whole different clientele for that. Paul, Reg, thanks for coming. Have a good night sleeping. Have a good night's sleep, and we'll catch you on Discord or on streams if you're up late enough. Good night. Thanks for coming. I gotta play with Abyss. I gotta play with so you look at this stuff. It's I got all these fun things. I've been playing with this. So this one, that's what's over here. Yeah, I'll just throw this on the track. Turn this stuff off. I'll turn that off. I forgot that I bought this one. That's the, I'm looking forward to having time to play with all my toys. That's Prague in a box right there. Fun stuff to play with. Oh, and I was playing with the, what did I have in the effects rack? Oh, this should sound nice. And as soon as Paul's chat comment goes away there, I'll be able to see the little button to turn this on. There we go. Yeah, there might actually be too much reverb there, because I think the patch has got a lot of reverb in it too. Let's see if I can figure out how to make that go away. Somewhere is an effects section for this. There it is. Oop, the effects were already off. Looks like. Yeah, they're not. They're dry. Fun. See, we're gonna start playing around with my toys here, with my software toys, because so much of it is so cool, and it's not that the hardware is not, but like I said, I've got the best of my hardware, or most of the best of my hardware anyway. I've got the software. So, I've got my multi-poly, and I've got my wave state, and I've got my mod wave, and my op6, and they're all, they all run right here nicely on the computer. So I don't know much. I don't know anything about Anthem. I never got into the UAD collection, so I had to draw the line somewhere. Having all the Arturia stuff and all the Native Instruments stuff and all the Dawson stuff. The collections start to get to be a little overwhelming as far as to how much stuff I have and where I can, where to spend my time. So, what is Anthem's claim to fame? Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. If I get the urge to play some hardware, the Sledge is a ton of fun. Your Hydrasynth is a ton of fun. and you got a stack of other stuff, and so. But by the same token, I can bring down a controller and the laptop, and yeah, it takes up a little more space sometimes. But I won't step on the other on Thorsten's toes, because if he's there and he wants to do Analog Lab, I'll do Omnisphere or something else. I can do any number of things that would fit in well. So again, what is the claim to fame for the Anthem synth? Just so I know, because I'm just saying I'm just not familiar with. Oh, that's another thing. I have analog bass. Okay, fat analog bass. Gotcha. I let go. I'm letting go some of the software that I don't use too. I let Diva go last week. Mixmaster, hey, how are you, ma'am? So I let Diva go a week or so ago. I'll probably let Hive 2 go. I just didn't, for whatever reason, I've not been able to. I don't get on well with Hive 2. It's great synth, sounds wonderful. I can't, it doesn't work well for the way I work. So I'll probably put that license up for sale. In the next, like I said, things will start popping up. I'll set up a reverb store. I guess that's the easiest way to do it, unless somebody wants to contact me directly for something. I'll set up a reverb store and link it to the website and to the YouTube page. So anyway. I'm going to go ahead, and Jeff's coming up in about 15 minutes. I want to get a bowl of ice cream before Jeff starts. So it's 9:15. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of fool around, make some noise, and I will catch you all at Jeff's place. If you refresh, if depending on how long you've been sitting on the page, the link may not be below, but I do have the link for Jeff's stream down below in the show notes, as they say. And see you all over there. We'll chatter and overrun his chat box. So anyway, guys, like I said, I'm going to play some music, just make some noise, goof around with stuff. I'll put the DAW up on the screen instead of the usual swirly bits, or maybe I know what I'll do. I will do that one. So we get swirly bits, and you can see me for what that's worth, and whatever I've got going on the screen. All right, George, catch it, Jeff's. Send me the link somehow to your Discord, and we'll get that out in the world. I don't have a Discord of my own. I hang out mostly on most of the time on the SynthSeeker Discord. That's my hangout. I'm also over on a couple others that I'm on, but that's where I am the most. But make sure I get that. Make sure I get that link, and I'll put it somewhere where people can find it. Like I say, catch y'all soon. We'll see you over at Jeff's. Hey Mixmaster, if you go to GarenM.net, there's a contact form there. Go ahead and send me the link over there. We'll get hooked up. That's the easiest way to get to me. So it's GarenM, GerenM.net, and up in the upper right is the contact link.